because it appears that I am not watching this live, although Facebook says I am. I'm sorry, not Facebook, YouTube. Give me 1 second. I got 9 seconds left on the counter before I can hear myself. So today's the day. All the parts are here. We are going to be building a vMix machine. And so that's pretty exciting because this machine is struggle bussing the whole way to the live show. All right, so I can hear myself just fine. Let me know if you need more or less of anything, in particular my microphone. We are going to just roll that music right down. So I've been busy getting the studio set up for this build. Pretty excited. Now, little wrench in the plans today. My son decided to not feel well this morning and is at home with me. So he's in the other room, and we'll see how long that lasts. But he's in the other room, and we'll have him probably come in here at some point. I was just going to work until this thing was put together because I'd like to fire it up today and get it going. But who knows? Who knows how much we're going to get done? So today is the build day, and we're just going to kind of get after it and go for it. And questions along the way or things I'm doing wrong or all that stuff, you are always welcome to bring that up while we are going along. I've got vMix socials up, so if you want to communicate with me, you can do that on Twitch or on YouTube, and both of those platforms will allow you to chat with me directly, and I can even put it up on the screen. All right, so my tools of the trade today are going to be a pocket knife, which is a Kershaw Leak, and it's got a speed assist open on it, and so that's helpful. That'll be good for opening all these boxes. And, of course, my technical kit that I have had for an age ever since my bird dog days. So that was the original toolkit, one of the original toolkits that I bought when I first started. Oh, yeah, and then I've also got a couple of other items here that should be of note. First is a magnetic bowl. So got a couple of these that, again, had purchased long ago in the bird dog days when I started doing repairs, kind of unofficially for the company. So we bought a couple of these magnetic bowls, and they've been around since then. A pair of vice grips, which are always handy, and something with a sharp pliable blade on it. So I've got some tools around that should be helpful. I think that's everything I'm really going to need. I could be wrong. Of course, let me know in the chat how wrong I am whenever you get a chance. So these are the tools that I'm using today, and we're going to just set these off to the side and get ready to go. Now, these magnetic bowls are crazy magnetic, so that's always it's good to have those just to kind of keep screws and whatever in place. But I've cleared off my desk, and I've got my mouse here. I've turned my keyboard off. It's sitting on the ground. And so today's the day. Let's get to work on getting this set up. So we're going to unbox. First and foremost, we need to unbox the case, which showed up on Tuesday, which happened to be my birthday. And I'm pretty excited about that. Now, it came in this enormous box. So we're gonna need a home for this computer, and just like Bird Dog, Slager's got its own tape. So I don't know if you can see this on camera, but it's got the logo on the tape. You can't see that. Ooh, it's very fancy. Let me get it up on the table here. Okay, so we are up on the table. I've got this like blue front on it. There's apparently somebody at my front door, probably a delivery. And let's just go ahead and take this apart. Now, all right, so she's up on the table. Give you guys a chance to see what it is that we've got here. It's the same form factor as a tower. Pretty much the same style. However, on the front, you can see I have chosen blue, as from today's logo that you probably saw. So that's pretty nice, like honeycomb case, and of course, my camera is behind. So she's pretty fancy. Pretty fancy. Now, I'm going to need some rack mount ears on this. So I'm hoping that they're somewhere obvious, because I haven't seen them yet. And they were also supposed to send me a cooling unit for the CPU, as well as some Noctua fans. So we've got something here. Those look like the ears. And then this, I'm not sure. Oh, that's the mount. AMD mount. So did they install it? Yes, it looks like it's installed. So that's pretty cool. And very handy. One less thing that we have to do. All right, so let's get our screwdriver and just pop the top off of this. We're going to use, let's see, right here, we're going to use a J0 on this. And just pop these little mounting bolt, little nuts off of here. Use our metal bowl to handle that. All right, there we go. Now, this just slides back and off. Oops. All right, and now we're in business. So, see if I can move this forward. You can see that the fans are already installed. Looks like we have a just piece of foam that was protecting that, which is fantastic. The question is, which way are the fans installed? It doesn't actually say. I'm assuming bringing air in and then pushing out the back. I'm going to assume that that's how that's set up, because that's pretty typical from what I have discovered. Now, it has been an age since I have built a computer. And, you know, it's been a little while. So that's why you're here. You're here doing this live so that you can help me not break things as I go along. Chad, hey, what's going on, Chad? I love getting packages in the middle of the show. Expensive stuff sitting on the porch that I can't go and get. It's unlikely expensive. All the gear for this build is here. It's actually sitting here behind me. So it's unlikely that, unless it's like a birthday gift or something that's out for delivery. But I think everything is here for those items, so I'm not too concerned. I could always check my camera that's sitting on the front porch, of course, see what's going on outside. But okay, so we are into the case. Looks pretty nice. I'm going to check out this hardware and see what came with it. So let's just get this here. It says hardware kit. I'm assuming these are the ears for this unit, they're quite heavy, so I might just leave them until last because I don't need. Yes, they are the ears. So here are the rack mount ears for this unit, and additional blanks for the back, some case screws, and a few other things. So that's good. Depending on how deep you need this product to sit, there are plenty of ears. Now, what I do like about this is that this thing is removable. And so you can pop it off. There is a filter on the back, just like a cheap little screen. But you can pop that thing off of there and keep it off to the side, so you don't damage it while you're building it. But also, I think they're interchangeable, so you can buy a different one if you don't like the color you got, or you wanted a color that you ended up not getting. You can buy a different one and go from there. Hey, happy birthday. Hey, thank you, Chad. appreciate that. It was just a couple days ago. And so this is the first show. Get this, my first show in my 40s. So good times, everybody, good times. Okay, so we probably need to get this bag off of here because it's going to be in the way. So let's grab my toolkit. Actually, need to get my knife because here it is. Because there's a zip tie around it. Interesting choice of. Oh, it's got a protective thing. Oh, why is this zip? Boy, that's really annoying. I'm gonna need a pair of snips. I'm not gonna need. All right, I need to go and probably get the snips from downstairs because that's, of course, right as I get started, I don't have the tool that I need. All right, so we'll take that off in a second. The next thing that we're going to do, now that we've seen inside, and this is already pre-installed, which saves me, honestly, probably 10 minutes, move this off the table. And next we need to have a quick look at the motherboard, because she will likely be the next thing that goes in. Okay, so Mag B650 Tomahawk with Wi-Fi, which I don't really care too much about, but it's nice that it's on board. Pretty straightforward. It's not like some sort of pro model. It is just a standard motherboard that will do what I need it to do. Middle of the road. Oh, that's fun. There's a fair bit of user manuals and some antennas. Now, I may not use those. Because I have the Wi-Fi feature as well, I actually have Wi-Fi antennas here, like bigger ones, that I can mount somewhere better than behind all of the technology stuff. So probably won't end up using these ones. These ones are just the standard, like little stick antennas, although they look pretty robust. So we'll see. This looks like stickers is what this looks like. Quick install guide. Scan the box. Yeah, so we've got some stickers here if we ever wanted to use them, although you know who would really like this is probably my kids. So they might get those instead. European Union registry notes, or regulatory notes. That's cool. And then our quick install guide. So it really wants you to scan the QR code for the product warranty. And then here are the full install for the fan and for the CPU. Shows you how to install the RAM if you've never done that before. So all good. Now, one thing they did say, I asked Slayer about, was does it come with, does the CPU come with thermal paste? And they said yes. I'm assuming it's in that little bag, but I don't see it. So hopefully it does, or this is going to be a short video. All right, so let's go ahead and get this unboxed. This has got some decent weight to it, this board. And let's have a look. This is the first look at this board. I haven't even taken it out of the bag yet. Ooh. All right. So that's quite nice. I wanted to get. I didn't need the RGB and all that stuff, which is pretty common in a lot of high performance boards these days. And so I didn't want all of that because I'm not going to be looking at it, quite frankly. I'm going to have no reason to have lights or anything like that. This case is going to be in a rack, and it's going to be mostly just functional for working. And so didn't want any of that. I just wanted a regular straight up board. So this looks like it's really good. It's got a lot of like heat dissipation. I really like the fact that it's nice and tidy, nice and clean. And I actually have two M2 or three D1, D2. So there should be 3 slots for SSD drives on this thing. And I also have an additional hard drive that I've had for quite a while. I was going to put it in this current machine that I'm using right now. but decided against it and that I would wait for. So that's only 500 gigs. This, I think, will be my boot drive, and the other ones will be my solid state onboard memory, and they're each a terabyte. So good stuff there. Okay, so board looks great. I think we need to probably remove this because that doesn't need to be there. And first thing, we probably need to get this into the chassis, right? So that means I probably need to get that bag off of the chassis. And this we get installed into. Now, let's just take a quick little look here. Raise this up on the end at what offerings we have these days compared to what they had back then. This has onboard HDMI and DisplayPort. Now I have a 4060 that's here, an NVIDIA graphics card 4060. So I'm not going to be utilizing the onboard graphics, but the onboard NIC is 2.5 gigs, which is great. I mean, that's great for just regular everyday use, which is why I didn't get a dueling NIC card. I keep saying NIC card, but that's like card. I didn't get a dual NIC for Ethernet for this build. I got fiber connections because I have a 4250 that's here that has fiber connections that'll be available for that data network. So we're going to put a fiber card on here, and we got these DAC fiber connections, and so that will be my primary connection to that switch, which will give me a backbone of 2 gigs. And then with this one as well, we're up to 4.5. So that's plenty sufficient for what I'm trying to do here, mostly because we are going to be testing out some NDI stuff and Dante stuff. So don't want any network throttling or bottlenecks or anything like that, which we are in good shape now. Then we've got 3 just kind of standard USBs, and then this one is wait a minute. We've got 2 standard USBs, 3 of these red ones, which are the 1 gigs. I don't know what they are. They're the 10 gigs. They say SS10 solid state. And then these ones are those standard USB 3s. So huge upgrade. We also have this audio out whole interface here, which I'm not going to be utilizing because I run a DAC anyway. So I've got plenty of USB drivers, thankfully, and those will be going to 2 hubs that are installed on my desk. So I have 2 USB 3 hubs that run a variety of things. The issue that I have with the current computer right now is that I'm out of USB drivers, and so I literally can't add anything else. So yeah, I'm gonna have to sort that out. Okay, Chad says, hey, CPU cooler has to go first since there's usually parts that go under the motherboard and stick through it. It has to go first? Like, you mean I gotta unbag this thing? All right, well, let me go downstairs and grab a pair of snips. I will be right back. Let's put up some tunes and just give me a quick second. Okay. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to move the motherboard off of the table. Did get a pair of snips, so Good to go there. And now we're just going to remove this little zip tie. All right, there we go. All right, here are all the cables now. Here is that CPU cooler. Let's see what came in that bag. Did they give me any thermal paste? It certainly doesn't look like it. I'll have to read. And then more bags. All right, here they go. So we've got this little guy. This is the actual CPU cooler. It looks kind of like there might be paste on it, but we'll have to read, find out what's going on there. Here are the actual front of case connections, which is handy. It's a lot simpler than it used to be, that's for sure. But then they gave me a ton of these fan extenders. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, so all 3 of these fans are sitting underneath here. So that's what these are for. Is it 4 to 4? Yeah. So we're going to just attach all of these. Because we're going to need them. Because the distance is not, well, yeah. Let's take a look at the board real quick. Because the fan controllers that we've got here, pump fans, system fans, and then system fans. There should be one that says CPU fan. System fan 2. System pump fan. CPU fan right there. Okay. All right. Well, it's not too far. Now, I'm assuming that this is the pump fan. That's what this is, because it's on the actual unit, CPU unit. But what I really need is a way to join all these fans together, right? I almost need like a splitter. So I'll look through and see if they added that. All right, that's all good though. So we may not need these extensions because the actual fan ports are right there on the back. So good, that's good. All right, so one of the first things that we're probably going to need to put in here is power, because it's going to sit right there. But first, let's fit the actual board and see how it hangs on. Sits inside this case. This is an actual case for this AMD board, so that's good news. Okay. Looks good. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to take this faceplate off. I'm going to put the manual for the motherboard. It's here somewhere. So I think I'm going to need, there it is, up top. think that plate is either going to have to come off or it's going to have to snap into place somehow. Let's just see if it does. Doesn't say anything about it. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. So it does say that that plate comes off in the front. And it has two little security screws in it. These are the tiniest of screws. So let's hope I don't lose them. That's why we have magnetic bowls, everybody. And a magnetic screwdriver, for that matter. All right, so it is loose. However, it's bolted on the bottom. Wait. How is that? So how am I supposed to get that in there? That's going to be a problem. It's bolted to the bottom of the board. If I take it off and I put the board in and then I try and put this back on, I'm not going to be able to get to those screws. All right, so maybe not. Let's see. Let's see if I can fit this again without having to take off the actual computer plate. Just doesn't feel like it's sitting very correct. I mean, I guess. I mean, those screw holes do line up. So we can give it a go. See how it works. Okay, so remind me to put those back in when we're done, if this sits in here correctly. All right. All right, now I've got a handful of screws, so we're going to put them all in our magnetic bowl and keep that away from the motherboard. And we have a bunch of washers in this. So as we are tightening this down, it says nothing about using the washers for the board. It just says to use the small screws, which are these ones. So and we're not going to tighten them down just yet. We're going to make sure they all line up. Okay, good. So far, so good. Okay, and remember, you want to just start them all, and then we're going to go in an X pattern. So we're going to go top, corner, 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 and then try and do an X pattern in the middle just to kind of give even tightness across all of them. And that way there are, it's even tension across. Hey, I can't tell from the picture, but there should be some standoff spacers. Yes. It is. The risers are already installed, so it's raised up correctly from what I can tell here. There are no spacers in the actual bag. So let's keep going here. Okay, just putting them in loose for now. Everything's lining up nicely, which is great. Okay, just nice and loose. Some happy little clouds. All right. Two more. Only two more left. One. Not that one. One. Okay, cool. So now we're going to go corner to corner. So here we go. We're going to tighten this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take the middle one. Since there's only, looks like there are 9 total. Okay, there we go. She is in there. Now I'm going to reinstall these guys that were on the back of this unit. I'm holding this faceplate in. Quite long screws, actually, for just standard faceplate screws. Oops. Don't want to drop it. Not on this carpet. Man. Thankfully, they're magnetic. I know this part is riveting. All right. I'm going to need to concentrate here, apparently. Okay, got it. Alrighty, so next is probably power supply. It's the next bulky thing that needs to go in here. So let's have a little unbox and see what we got here. I went with the Corsair RM750E. It's a modular power supply, which is something I couldn't afford on the last build that I did many moons ago. But times have changed. Not only has my income changed, but my prices of things have gotten cheaper. So that has enabled me to get this little Corsair modular power supply. So let's have a little look, see what we got. Want to run over any cables or anything. Ooh, all right. We got some zip ties. Thank you, Corsair, for knowing that we're going to need some cable management. Safety and compliance information. That's always fun. Here's your very standard power cable. here are all of your modular cables. It's nice. They're all individually in there in its own bag. And now we'll pop off the foam sides. Let's go ahead and open this up. Now, I built this machine spec-wise. I built it on a parts picker, and so given the CPU that I have and the GPU that I have, 750 should be enough of the overhead that I'm going to need for all that. So that's great. It's pretty straightforward. Looks pretty good. And the mounting screws are on the back where they're supposed to be. That's great. Which are also right here. So we can get that installed into the case. All right. So it's going to go here on the back. The nice thing about building computers is that you basically match up the shapes. If you were good at the shape game as a child, you had that like globe thing and then you just put the pieces in it. Although there's a really funny meme going around that there's this lady who is playing the shape game with an engineer and all the shapes go in the same spot. It's really funny. All right, so we're going to line this up. It's going to sit just slightly not flush on the bottom. But here are those screws that we need to use for the power supply, threaded specifically for this unit. Okay. And I'm just going to keep it in the off position until we're ready to actually power it up. Now, just like before, we want to provide even tension on all of these bolts, all these screws. And so when we're putting this in here, we want to be sure we just screw them down lightly. And then we go we go star pattern or whatever you want to call it, but from corner to corner, to provide even tension on all of these. So that's the way that's done. And one on each side is preferred. All right, since I got all four in here now, I'm gonna crank her down. Good. One. That one's good. 2, 3. Last but not least, 4. Good. All right, so that's in there permanently for the next 8 years. Hopefully. We should be good shape there. Let me do this so you can see a little bit more of the case. That might be a little easier. Okay, so we're in good shape there. Power supply is in. We're not going to run the power cables just yet because we're not ready for that. Now, I also noticed that there are these are slots for holding SSD drives. Actually, they're the big ones. I probably could pull that out of here, although I do have that one SSD that I want to use. So we shall see. We shall see. Hey, what is going on, everybody? People jumping in the chat. What's going on, Judson? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping on by. Yes, today's the big day. We're building a machine. So, and what is going on, Frank? Oh, sorry. What's going on, Frank? Good morning. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Let's see. It's 11:40 over there in Michigan right now. I'm not in your time zone anymore. It's very strange. Okay, so we've got the initial pieces in. We got motherboards in. It's down. It's bolted down, and the power supply is in. It's bolted down. So we're in good shape there. The next thing that we want to probably run is Well, let's take a look. Likely CPU. However, I have not seen any thermal paste, which they said they were going to send me. So let's take a look and just check out. Install your CPU. Join the rewards program. CPU, add thermal paste. So that's not helpful. Well, let's see what else we got here. Did they actually give me any thermal paste? This says retention kit premium for AMD 4.5, which is what I have. Scan QR code for installation instructions. All right, well, we could always do that. There is like a pad on there that kind of looks like if it heats up, it might actually be thermal paste, but don't know. All right, we're going to open this installation guide. Here you'll find collateral for products Aztec sells directly to its consumers. Okay. Cool. Installation guide, retention ring kit. That's what I've got. Premium guide. Oh, there's the actual retention kit. If I click on installation guide, will it make it actually big enough for me to read it? Yeah, there we go. Remove the stock AMD AM45 mounting hardware by loosening the 4 screws and removing the 2 plastic pieces. Keep the back plate in place. Orient the collar based on the motherboard platform being used. Collars will have AM4 or AM5 printed on either side. Place the collars over the posts in the back plate. It should be facing up. Screw standoffs into the back plate while holding it into place. Tighten firmly. Secure retention rig to the pump block combo. Attach from the sides that will contact the CPU. Swivel and click into place. Note, for the Aztec Gen 4 pumps, use the plastic retention clips to secure the pump to the retention ring after it is placed in the desired location. Install the fans to the radiator and install radiator in the case. Orient the fans as intakes if you want the best performance. Align the holes to the retention rings, standoffs to the motherboard. Place the pump block onto the CPU while holding the pump block to your CPU. Tighten down the 4 thumb nuts with your finger and then tighten them down with a screwdriver. Connect the fans to the appropriate headers on the motherboard. Connect the pump to the CPU fan header on the mother. Oh, that's interesting. All right. So CPU could be next. Or we could do the GPU because that's pretty much, or we could do, actually what we could do is the hard drives. So take off the screws real quick. One. These little heat sinks that go on here. 1 and 2. Oh. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Frink says, hey, I missed what processor and GPU you decided to go with. I went with the AMD Ryzen 7 7000 series. In particular, this is the Ryzen 7 7800 X3D with Radeon graphics. There you go. 8 cores, 16 threads. 5.0 gigs, but 4.2 base. And the GPU, after much deliberation, went with the GeForce RTX 4060. So that's super fun. And this should be allow me to do the AV1 encoding in vMix. So that was mostly the reason, just to have the ability as needed. I'm going to just open this little box here to do that AV1, mostly because, and I ran this by Tom the other day on his show, maybe it was last week on the show, but mostly because I wanted to do the AV1 because I'm limited on my my bandwidth here at the house. Oh, this is quite the nice little chip I got here. So I'm limited on the bandwidth, and I needed to basically maximize how much I was sending out. And so the idea was I was going to, well, that's cool that they're like on risers. The idea was I needed to, alrighty. I wanted to basically have the ability to lower the GPU, lower the CPU usage, but the Ethernet usage as well by half, almost half. It's like 40%, right? And I want to give that a try. Well, in this configuration on this machine, I've got 970s in here, which are very old at this point. They work well for doing some gaming stuff and whatever, but they're not great for anything else. So that, yeah, that was the plan. Well, John, that's hilarious. That is the exact graphics card that I'm putting in my CX3150A. Right on. Great minds think alike. I hope. I hope we're great minds. Okay, so we're gonna put this back now, and I need to put a retention screw in here. Did they include those? You would think they would, right? Okay, so there's no retention screws. Fantastic. All right, so what am I supposed to use here? Oh, actually, it looks like there's already a retention screw there. Oh, that's cool. Wait, I want to read. Wait, I need to look in the manual before I screw this up. Famous last words. All right, so the actual hard drives, I'm kind of jumping all over the place here. The actual hard drives, what? There's no instructions for those? Well, that's fascinating. Okay, let me check this one then. There is a manual inside the actual hard drive, which has a sticker on it to like keep them secret. Keep it secret, keep it safe. All right, here we go. Let's have a look. What is going on here? Hey, Samsung. There are Australian instructions? Okay, here we go. All right, inside desktop. That's not even... These are just generic instructions. That just shows a regular SSD. All right, so it does have a screw. It appears. All right. So I need to take this screw out. Is that what I'm gathering then? Because according to, hey, no, John, you screw it in, not up. Retention screws should be in the motherboard hardware kit or on a pre-installed board. I think it's on the pre-installed. So, see, this is why it's good to have all you guys here. Alrighty, there it is. Now we're going to get that little... I can't believe that this is, like, this is it, right? This is crazy to me. Remember when we had those giant hard drives? And, man, I used those things for ages. and still do. I still have physical hard drives in that computer. And yet, this is probably the first. Now, this is the first time I've put one of these in here. However, I did buy one of, what is going on here with this thing? There we go. I did buy a M2 for the current computer that I had, but I had to send it back because when I installed it, it wouldn't read it. It had no idea what it was. So hopefully that's not the case with these ones, because I have two of them and they're my primary way of computing. All right, so there was a cover that goes back on that. Where are we here? All right, let's start moving. Ah, there it is. Junk into the Sligger box. And then here is that cover. And it's going to go here. Just like this. Okay. And I got another one. It's going to go here. Sweet. All right. Tighten those down. That looks really good. So we're underneath this cover now with that M2. Now the other one's going to go here. And allegedly there's a third slot somewhere. But I don't know where it is. So there you go. All right. Hopefully you guys can see that board all right. I can remove my image from this if I'm too distracting or not as pretty as the motherboard. Hey, solid build. Ah, thanks, Frank. I'm hoping for it. Hey, all right. Getting positive feedback now from Angus. The M2 SSDs are pretty easy to install. Put it in the slot. Screw it in, apply thermal management. I love those M2s. I remember when my dad built our first computer in the late 80s, it had a 40 megabyte hard drive, which took its own driver card. It was the longest card in the entire computer. And then IDE drives came out and the giant cards got downside attached right to the drive. Sometimes the third slot is under the motherboard. Interesting. I'll have to look it up. I don't have a third one, but this would be a good show just to wear a lapel. It would be, but then you wouldn't get the sweet tones of the RE20. Okay, so let's keep going here. We have another M2 that we need to install, which is right here. Okay, so let's do it all over again, folks. We're going to open up the side of this case. And then we're going to... Did that actually land? It did actually land in the box. That's awesome. There we go. Ooh, she's so pretty. All right, so now let's take this second cover off. This would be a good show to wear a lapel. That would have been a smart idea, wouldn't it? I have one, but to wire it all up at this point, you know how vMix loves to change audio sources. Okay, so this looks like they're underneath. You can stack them. I need a little more light. So this is where 2 and 3 go. Yeah. So there's one here. There's one here, and then there's one here. So, cuckoo. All right, that makes sense. Third one just doesn't get a cover, evidently, which is lame-o. Could have used a cover. All right, so let's pop this little guy off of here. Done. Oh, I pulled the whole riser out. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Ah, nuts. Oh, wait a minute. That's not a screw. Or is it? That is stuck together. I don't know if you can see this, but that little screw in there is stuck in there. Weird. Oh, maybe I'm not supposed to take that out. It looks like the cover is what holds it on there. Now that I look at it. All right, let's try this. Whoa, hey everybody, how's it going? What's going on, Jeremy? Good to see you. A headset like mic lets you move around without wandering off mic. Lapel is the last choice. Hey, the RE20 is worth it. Ah, Judson to the rescue. I believe Angus is 100% right. The Sanken COS 11D would give you similar tones. Well, hey, when this stream takes off and I'm making money off of it, I'll invest in that. I use the Rhodes lapel mic on a wireless headset mount. I actually have, like a wire that I could be wearing, but getting it integrated with this computer is kind of a pain. So that's why I don't really use it. Hilariously, John, no, I don't. I've never had the kind of audio issues that you seem to have, not even once. Is your mic USB or are you going XLR to an audio interface? Correct. Yeah. A wired lapel is a great thing for this type of show. I have a couple of cheapies that plug in via XLR. I've even used them as an improvised space Omni pair. Have you even done this before? Long time ago. Do you mean build a computer or do you mean run a live show? Because both of those things seem to be, new for me. So, so the answer is kind of no. Kind of no. Build a computer, it's been a long time. Run a live show with a microphone, I thought about it, but I decided not to go with it and bother with that. It was a miracle just to clear my desk off, guys, so that we could have this overhead shot, which is causing my computer to have to work overtime, by the way, because it does not like having to work this hard. So you're welcome. Hey, whoop, there it is. Okay, cool. We are lined up. All right, so now we're going to just do this little number and put this back on. Put my protective plate. It's loosey-goosey for a second. Whoops, I guess I'm going to need a screw in there. It's like right in the shadow of where... Yay, there we go. What's the matter? You guys would rather me wear a lapel than listen to the sweet tones of the EVRE20? Come on. Come on. Hey, that's a flippy thingy. It should turn 90 degrees to lock and then unlock the drive. Put it back in. Yes. I figured that out via trial and error. So I've had a good fun week. I unlocked a life achievement, provided a satellite connection to a broadcast truck. It was Starlink, mind you, but still, that's pretty cool. Yes, all fun. That is a fun little achievement. Well done, Angus. You need to build more computers, John. I've retired quite a number of machines with M2 drives already. It's true. I need a budget. Hey, if you're only able to build if only you are able to build a new vMix computer for this. Yes. I know. All right. You people with your microphone preferences. All right. All right. Hard drives are in. So let's go with, well, we can put memory in. That's easy. Whoopsie. Okay. So here is memory. The G Skill. I didn't really go over the top with this, but I do have 64 gigs of it. There's 16 each. I have 4. And that was the plan. So we're going to unbox each of these. And they should just pop in as required. So we're going to open up these little snaps. What's the order? Okay. I'm going to pair them together as they... Now, long ago, you used to be able to just push them down and they would snap themselves in. But they're just like that. There you go. Things haven't changed too much. I'm not that old. Right? Boom. I love that. Nice, clean click sound. That is the way that I think computers should in general operate, where when you do it right, it gives you a nice clean clicky sound. Ooh, look, free stickers. That's fun. Come on. It's just the plastic making that sound, folks. Don't worry. Just the plastic. Okay. Go again. It's a great sound. I should have set up my other little microphone with my 3DO mic, and then this could have been ASMR. Snappy snap. Boom. She's a beaut. All right. This is that network card, that fiber network card that I bought, which it can go in. Nothing too serious. She is also a beaut. I'm going to need the large plate for the back of this, which is already pre-installed, which is nice. And it's going to go in this PCI slot right here. Maybe. It's awfully tight. All right, we'll wait on that. Okay. This is the way. Yes, I'm hoping you're saying the little snappy's in. All right, cool. Let's see what else we got to do here. We do need to get the CPU in. The problem being is that Sligger said they were going to send me thermal paste, and I don't know if there's thermal paste on this thing. I don't have it. There's no tube of it here, so I can't put the thermal paste. I can't put this all in there. Ooh, more stickers. If it's not actually got thermal paste on it. So does anybody know, Angus, you've purchased stuff from Slager before. They told me in an email that thermal paste was included. This is the giantest waste of a box ever. Look at this. It's this humongous box, but it's all empty. Well, what's the... He's keeping up appearances, man. That's all that is. Ooh. So, you know, on the bottom of this, there is what appears to be like dry thermal paste, but I don't know. That does not. It looks like a piece of fabric is what it really looks like. So I may not be able to turn this on today, but here is that CPU. So pretty. All right. Now, I've got a little arrow in the corner. There's the little arrow. Okay. And then when you put this closed, should that pop off on its own? I know it used to be that way. Throw those away. Where is it? It doesn't actually show that. Oh, wait, yeah. Open. The demonstration shows it popping off, but... it just says remove is all it says. So I'm just going to remove it. Okay. She's in there. Pretty cool. Alrighty. Whoa, and the chat continues on. Oh no, no thermal paste? Is that gray gunk? It might be pre-applied. Is there gray gunk on the AOI cooler? Yes. Don't do it, John. I didn't order my cooler from Slager. I bought mine locally. Burnt. It was a Corsair, and it had paste pre-applied. So you can't shove the box in your pocket and walk out of the store, for those of you who are still actually buying things in a store. Touche, touche. Kind of looks like thermal paste, but I'm not shaking my reputation. Yeah, seriously. Angus still buys things in the store. Hey, don't bend any pins. Hey, what's interesting about this, Frank, is that they're just contacts. They're not actually pins. So that's pretty cool. We have a great, fantastic computer store in Edmonton. No electrostatic wristband or anything? No. John, you're scaring me. I know, I live on the edge, man. Living on the edge. All right, well, let's have a little look-see and find out if it's pre-applied, because it does look like it. It does look like it's pre-applied. Pre-applied. But there is also a retention kit here that needs to be installed. And yeah, that's super fun. And also there's a GPU that needs to be installed. So now that I've got the hard drive installed, we can install this GPU. So 4060 is where we're going. I also have not opened this. All this is being unboxed with you live right now. So let's have a look. Nice clean box. I like that presentation. That's cool. All right. And then this off to the side. Ooh. Reminds me of my WindForce units is what that reminds me of right there. So Ooh, she's so fancy. All right. She looking good. Now we're going to take off the little protective before we install. And we're going to move this CPU cooler. Hmm. Doesn't sit quite as nice as I wish it did. It's almost as if I need risers on this board because it's not as tight as it needs to be. And that was the same problem I was having with this other card, is that it wasn't sitting like this is pushing up against the case and it's not sitting flush against the case. So curious. There are no risers in this though. There are just little flat washers, but that's not really helpful. Everything went in fine. I mean, it is locked in there. Like, it's not coming out. It's just seems a little tight. Yeah, and it's not exactly lined up. Like, it kind of leans back a bit. It's almost as if the screws at the back need risers. That's what it almost feels like. So that's an interesting problem. Touch it to the top of the CPU and see if it leaves a gray mark. If it does, then screw it down. Not up. Usually you just leave that PSU plugged in and the switch turned off, and it'll ground the whole case. Bitcoin mining while not streaming? Or did they disable that on the 4060? I don't know. Shouldn't there be standoffs? There already were. They were all pre-installed. Lest it go bang. I was a bit late to the party this morning and I didn't see you install that. Yeah. There were not. So let me look again. Maybe I bypassed a bag of some sort. Yeah, the standoffs were pre-installed on the case. Let's see if it's something in this bag. Case screws. Case screws. Standoffs. Dang it. That's so frustrating. All right. Well, it's not a huge deal. This is what happens when you're late to the party, Angus. All right, let me get my phone. We're standoffs in. Come on now. Okay. We're okay. One minor hiccup. Remember, folks, buy yourself a magnetized container to hold the screws while you take things apart. Can't tell you how many times I've lost things over the years before I found out about that little miracle. Okay. Let's take a little look and see what we got going on here. Also, I'll jump back to the chat real quick because I know you guys are... I just looked back. Those are definitely not standoffs in the case. I 100% installed them in my Sligger. That should also give you a chance to install the cooler retention bits on the bottom of the board. If only you were wearing a lapel mic right now. That's all right. I didn't need to say anything while I was monkeying through that. All right. So, unfortunately, now I got to figure out which ones, which pins are for this. So, and I got to measure them again. Okay. We'll get it sorted here. All right, let's do the next row. This fits so much nicer now. If only someone had asked you about the standoffs and under the board brackets at the beginning. Yeah, if only, right? If only. Shout out to Chad. He did mention something about this, and I didn't see the standoffs. Okay, so let's take a look at this retention because it's an interesting. It doesn't look like there is a spot on the back of this to put the retention. So I need to read those instructions again. I'm not going to install this just yet. I'm going to verify that all my standoffs are in the right place. Okay, we're in business. Oh, no, we're not. Okay, now we're in business. All right, so I got to read those instructions again for the retention ring. Standoffs. All right, so remove the stock AM5 mounting hardware by loosening the 4 screws and removing the 2 plastic pieces. Keep the back plate in place. So I'm assuming that's these two, right? That's this guy, this plastic piece, and this plastic piece. I'm taking your votes now for whether or not you think. Because it says remove the stock. Okay. Orient the collars based on the motherboard platform that's being used. Collars will have AM4 or AM5 printed on either side. So that is these guys. Place collars over the posts on the back plate. Whoa. Come again? Maybe this is not, this isn't the right collar. Retention ring. Orient the collar base on the motherboard platform being used. Collars will have AM4 or AM5 printed on either side. All right, now I'm missing something again. Gosh, this is annoying. That is for this. That's also for this side. Both of these are for that. Well played, Chad. If only there is that as well. Yep, those plastic pieces. First try, Lego Batman. I know, sir. I did an AM5 build last year. If only he actually read the comments before he did what he was asking about. If only. If only it were that simple. All right, so I'm looking for... Oops. I'm looking for something else. The collars will have AM4 or AM5 printed on either side. Place it over the posts on the back plate. This, apparently, this is used for the the Gen 4 Ace Tech pump. Boy, this is annoying. All right, well, the back plate on the back of this thing All right, so it says socket AM5 on the back. I mean, there is a plate already on here. For AM5 motherboards, the AM5 print should be face off. Screw the standoffs onto the back plate while holding it in place. Okay. Standoffs, collars, and thumb screws. Okay. So here are those items. This doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me just yet, but it would be helpful if there were, like, you know, photos or something. But no. So this is a standoff from, sorry. That's the standoff that I'm being told. And then there are collars and thumb screws. So collars, try that again. Collars and thumb screws. It should look like this, allegedly. So I'm assuming orient the collars based on the motherboard platform. Collars will have AM4 or 5 printed on either side. AM4, AM5. Oh. Place the collars over the posts on the back plate. Okay. Boy, that seems awfully big. For AM5 motherboards, it should be printed facing up. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I think I get it. So AM5 up. And then okay. It's coming together. It's not on the back though. AM5. Man, that print is small. I don't know if my 40-year-old eyes are going to be able to read that. Okay, and the final one, which is right here. Jeremy, don't put the AM4 ones on. So these are they're on either side. So the riser says AM4 on one side and AM5 on the other. Okay, so you have the AM5 needs to be facing up, is what the instructions are saying. And then, okay, screw the standoffs onto the back plate while holding it in place. Tighten firmly. Secure the retention ring to the pump block combo. Attach from the side that will contact the CPU. Swivel and click into place. My goodness. All right, so this is what we have going on. Let me read you the instructions and I'll tell you how this looks. All right. So it says remove the stock AM5 mounting hardware, which is right over here. Okay, done. By removing the 4 screws, remove the 2 plastic pieces, keep the back plate in place. So it says don't take the back plate off. Orient the collars based on the motherboard platform being used. So AM5 is printed on one side and AM4 is printed on the other. Place the collars over the posts on the back plate. For AM4 motherboards, the AM4 print should be facing up. For AM5 motherboards, the AM5 should be facing up. Okay, so these have been screwed into the back plate. All right. Screw the standoffs onto the back plate while holding it in place. So that's what we've done here. While holding it in place. Okay. Secure the retention ring to the pump block combo. All right. So this is, according to the instructions, this is the retention ring. And it says to screw it onto the pump block combo, which is this. Now, which way does it matter? I'm assuming the flat side. So Just put it on there and lock it into place. So the question still is, do the pipes go up like that? I'm assuming, right? Until you hear it click, which it didn't click, but I just felt it snap in. And then are you supposed to place it on these posts, I'm assuming? Like so. By the way, yes, it did leave a residual. Like so. Use the plastic retention clips to secure the pump to the retention ring after it's been placed in the desired. I don't have those. All right. Install fans to radiator. And, oh, wait. Hang on. Screw standoffs into the backplate while holding it. Tighten firmly. Secure the retention ring to the pump block combo. Attach from the side that will contact the CPU. Swivel and click into place. Align the holes of the retention ring with the standoffs of the motherboard. Place the pump block onto the CPU. While holding the pump block combo on your CPU, tighten down the 4 thumb nuts with your fingers and then tighten them down with a screwdriver. Listen here, thumb nut. Oops. Whoops a daisy. Okay. All right. I'm missing one thumb nut. Of course, they're all black, which is super helpful. Where could it have gone? Nope, that's not it. Fascinating. All right, well, I'm missing one, but I also need to get this board screwed back down. Weird. Where did that go? Oh. It's here on the side of the magnet bowl. That's fun. Let me try and get this out of the way for you. Whoops. No sounds from my son. There we go. One, two. Ooh, that one's loosey-goosey. 3. 4. All right, and now take this piece of plastic off. And now we are going to, it said to give them a turn with the screwdriver. Okay, good. Remove this stand off. Don't need that one. Now it's time to put back the screws from the back onto the standoffs that I failed to do the first time. Oopsie. Nope, that's not right. All right, we got the initial ones on. So that's good. It means we're kind of lined up. Not that one. Now it makes more sense about the screws fitting correctly because we have the proper standoffs in there. Everything lines up nicely. A lot nicer than it did before. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. One more. All right, we're in good shape. Now we're going to go star pattern to tighten these down. So let's just start in the top left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. All right. Well, let's see if this will settle a little bit better when it comes to these cards, because that was a concern. Look at that. When you listen to the, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Name that show. All right. All right, I do have a bunch of case screws here. So we're going to Papa. Come on. It's nice. They pre-applied some on each of these. They have like a little Loctite on them, which is nice. There we go. That's safe and secure. GPU is just chilling here, so let's get that in there. Yeah, well, at least Angus knows. All right. Oh, that's that sound right there. That's what we wanted. That nice click. Seated correctly. She's a beaut. Okay, so in the instructions for the CPU, which is honestly like one of my biggest concerns for this whole install, is the connection for the CPU. But it had it nicely explained in the user manual. So wherever that got to. Oh, it was on my phone. So it says connect, let me just make sure here. Install the fans to the radiator and install radiator into the case, blah, 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 line the holes. Connect the fans to the appropriate headers of the motherboard. Connect the pump to the CPU fan header on your motherboard. So when it says correct, does it mean system fans? Because that's the only other ones that I've got. Okay, so we've got our CPU fan is right here, and that goes to the pump. Now, on this board, here's a question I have for you. On this board, I have a pump fan plug. So, but it told me to put it, literally said, connect the pump to the CPU fan header on your motherboard. Now, I have one of those, but I also have a pump header on here too. So should I connect one of the fans to that? Should fan 1 be connected to that? Who knows? Or should those be the system ones? Those instructions are not in here. I'm halfway tempted to plug in the pump to the pump header, right? And then plug in one of the CPU fans, one of the fans for the CPU into the CPU fan header. It seems to me like that would make the most sense. No? I think that makes the most sense. All right, we are going to need those extensions. Pump goes to the pump header. Yep. Thank you. All right. All right. I feel like I should get a splitter and plug these all into the CPU fan, right? They should all go to get the same speed. But are you building a rocket or a computer? Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Seems reasonable. Well, that's good. I'm glad you agree. So system fan 3 is on this side of the case. Oh, but system fan 2 is over here. All right. Okay. So far, so good, I think. I think. That's, the famous last words until I overheat my CPU. All right. We do have some blanks as well that need to go into this case because there are other places that I'm not using, and we want to protect the CPU from, or we want to just protect the case itself from not having extra unnecessary dust or anything. So I know it's behind my face that I'm doing this, but put these blanks in here. It's kind of nice. They gave me the right amount. All right, put the blanks in, and that way we're not going to have any sort of issues with stuff coming into the case. Now, I did, per Angus's recommendation, buy a couple of extra Noctua fans. And so these are 80 mils. I like how they come in this like storybook. Oh, look, they have splitters. Hey-oh. Let's go. All right, so sweet action. So I could use one of these splitters. I could use one of these splitters on the CPU fan. Sweet, and then that's like a little extension. So this is the split right here. That's good. Excellent. And then I could just use the system fans for these two. So perfect. I have enough to do what I want to do. So we're going to attach this guy here. And we're going to attach this guy here. And then so is this like relaxing for anybody on the on your Thursday afternoon, just watching me build a computer? I hope it is. I hope that that's how you feel. Okay, here's the second one. Now, these are just little 80s. They're just to keep the air moving out of the case. All right, let's get my splitter. And we're going to attach that splitter now to this guy. Really overload. Where are we here? Here we go. Okay, so we got another splitter. We're going to put this guy up to 11. And then we're going to tuck all this away. She's a beaut. Tuck it all away. So there you go. Hey, don't forget to silicone the head cover gaskets where there's a seam, and marker sure to not spill oil on the exhaust manifolds. Okay. And torque the heads properly. You don't want to have to tear it all down because you're mixing oil and coolant. Hey, that's pretty neat. Man, I need that soundbite back. I used to have it. I'm just hanging out until you turn it on, and hopefully we all see some sparks fly. Not really. This is a lovely way to spend a Thursday. Thank you. At least one of you is enjoying this. I've been busy all week. It's true. And watching me blow up my office is a great way to end the week, right? So according to Jeremy, that's what he's here for. Okay, so I've got some little extension cables for these Noctua fans. These little guys are going to go. Let's just get the orientation right here. There we go. So we're going to push the air out, which means the label's got to go on the outside. And these little guys are just going to sit in here. Something like that. I don't know if you can see that, but they're going to sit like that. And I get the other one out. And again, just like this. Something like that. Weird, I guess I thought they would fit a little nicer in there than they are going to, but I'm only going to be able to get 2 screws into these each, which stinks, but whatever. Oh, I could use the little plug here. That's what I could do, I think. I don't know how this is going to work. Oh yeah, these will be fine. Oh. Oh no. Boom. The grid is just almost perfectly not aligned. So it's a little tight fit. But we're going to do what we can do here. Hey, while we're doing this, can somebody remind me the process of installing Windows? Because it's been a long time. Do I have to download? Do I? Do I have to download it on like a USB stick or something? And then I have a license, but I need to figure out how to actually get it, because that'll be next. Also, did I hear correctly that if you have a Windows 11 license, you can install Windows 10 for the time being? Yeesh. That's awesome. All right, we're in good shape. We are in good shape. Now let's get these little extenders and just put them in here. Just want some additional airflow, intentional to push it out of the back of the case. This is number 1. Okay. And then okay, here is my second one. So get this going here. Hey, it's 12 o'clock. Been at it for 2 hours, folks, and my son is still mysteriously quiet. He's happy because he's on a game. All right. So sysfan 1 and 2 are now actually for the system, which is nice. CPU fans are all being run off of the CPU fan, and the pump fan is running off of the pump one. So it's like it was all meant to be. It's kind of nice. Okay. There's that. Now we probably got to plug in, we got to plug in the case. So these are the fun ones, aren't they? All right. So any more modern day boards should have headers. This says SS10 on it. This is just straight SS. So I'm going to have to probably read the manual. Or just, now that things are like getting installed. Okay, I think I see it. Okay, that worked out pretty well. And the other options I have here is for the case front. I don't know if I have that one. And these are for the LEDs. Power LED and power switch. Of course, none of them are labeled. Why would they be labeled? That would be silly. Okay, so what do I need to do here? I need to put that in here. Gonna get a few case screws, put in these blanks because I stopped doing that halfway through this. One more. Okay, that looks good. Oh, whoops. Oh, all right. That one doesn't actually hook in. It's just loosey-goosey, apparently. Weird. Okay. We need to run power. That's one of the things we got to do. And the DAC. That's pretty much what's left. So we're going to run power. And those cables are right here. Almost all together, folks. Yes, quiet kids. Just one kid. And he's usually pretty good when he's on just a game or something. So, all right. Oh, yes. And I got to figure out where this power switch button goes. All right. So first and foremost, looks like we got a motherboard switch here, or a motherboard power, which is right here. A little bit strange that it's not labeled. Type 4. All right. Okay, that was easy. Gosh, I do love these modular units these days, eh? Uh-oh. What happened to my video? My webcam just went kaputs. Connected. This is supposed to, like... Let's see here. Image adjustment. Autofocus. Hey, there we go. All right. Should just take autofocus off. There we go. Okay. That's better. How long has it been blurry? USB 1.0, none of this 1.1, 2.0. Make sure that the USB is no more than 4 megs, so the MICU updates. Also, don't install Windows 10. Create a bootable USB with an installer. You have angered the autofocus. Why is it doing it again? Autofocus is off, so it should be off now. Okay, that's good. We're going to need probably power for... Oh, not this one. We need power for the... no PCI power required. However, we do need one for the GPU. This says CPU on it. Not that one. That's for the fan, right? This is for old school hard drives. PCIe. Ooh, a doubler. I just need a single. This one. PCIe right here. Single, and what's this one? Also says CPU on it. All right. So PCIe, I'm going to go with the GPU connection. Now, in my previous build, I had a custom-made cables, which was nice. It's the right orientation. Maybe not. Do I got the wrong one here? No, that's the right one. Are you also going to handle all the cable management in there? Nah, it looks good, doesn't it? Actually, that was why I bought custom cables, because I could, there we go. Because I could order longer ones, and then I could run them through the back of the case and avoid all this spiderweb business. Avoid the spiderweb. Man, this is gonna be nice because I don't have really anything that needs to be powered. I feel like, Jeremy, you were squirming when you asked about the cable management because, yeah, good stuff. Because, like, it was bugging you just a little bit. Can I run this up here, maybe? Like that. Get those out of the way. Get those out of the way. I was trying to figure out, like, do I zip them down underneath this plate? Because I know it's hard to see now that I've got everything in here. But basically, these two are the only things I need to finish. This is a pretty short cable. It's kind of annoying, actually. Kind of annoying. Maybe just a little twitch, but I can handle it. Yeah. All right. So the last thing I need to pretty much figure out is where these cables plug into for the power and for, what was the other thing I said it was? Power, LED, and, oh yeah, this SATA connection. Kind of looks like it goes. Kind of looks like it goes right there. But I don't really want to guess. Like, start cramming things in. That wouldn't go over well right here at the end. All right, Tomahawk. I need some answers. And you, like, don't even have a manual. That means I got to look it up online, doesn't it? I guess it does. Lame. All right, let's go here. Guess I'm going to need a keyboard. All right, and we're going to look up my Tomahawk B650 user manual. Manuel. All right, let's see what what results I get. Just give me 2 seconds too. I will share this with you so that you can follow along at home. Yoink, over here, over here. All right, so we're here on MSI's website, and we're just going to look at manuals. The manual comes in multi-languages. We'll go ahead and download that. And let's see. Yeah, I definitely don't have one of these. Table of contents. Audio jack, CPU, front connectors. There we go. So over on the bottom of the board, the power LED buzzer. That's fun. So JFP1 is the one that we're looking for. What did I say? Yeah, JFP1. Okay, found it. And the orientation of this. Okay, so pin number 10 is missing. That's nice. Excuse me. So, not that one. So this guy, I'm looking for power switch, which is pins, what looks like 6 and 8. And then this other one is power LED, which is 2 and 4. So 6 and 8. Let's get a little light in here so we can see what we're doing. Alrighty. So power switch, 6 and 8. Those two. And power LED. Oh, I'm going to have to put them on at the same time because they're not going to reach together, that's for sure. Let's flip it. There we go. Of course, you got to hold them tight enough. And my old fingers, my 40-year-old fingers. Come on. All right, so we're just going to double check. Power LED is 2 and 4. Power switch is 6 and 8. That is how I have them on there. Excellent. Now, number 2 is the positive. I actually think I have them on backwards. All right, now we're in good shape. Cool. Okay. It's nice that they color-coded those Manuel. Hey, John, it's been fun, but I need to go and do some real work. What are you talking about? This is real work. You're networking right now. This is real work. Always a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by, Jer. Always a pleasure. Now, the last thing that I need is this guy right here. So this is for the USB Type-C, evidently. Just the JUSB 1, which I thought that's what that was. Right next to the power supply. Okay, so this guy right here has to go. Is there... Ooh. Oh, that nice little snap in there. Everybody loves that, including me. All right, so now we got to just do a little management here of these. Okay. We've got these now. This is half duplex, high latency networking for sure. I didn't say what type of networking. And I certainly didn't promise that these would be people you'd want in your network. That is definitely hearsay. Alrighty. Well, folks, I think we are pretty much close to being done with plugging this all in. Yep, she's looking good. So, it's the moment of truth, you know? Eventually, you got to pull the trigger and make it happen. So, I am going to run a HDMI cable to my fourth monitor, which is above my desk, and we're going to see what happens when we plug her in. I'm just going to do a double check. And also, well, I don't really want to do cable management yet unless I need to change something, right? So let's wait on that. All right. So we can clear off some of this stuff we don't need right this second. Oh, I didn't install this this little hard drive. It looks like I'm gonna need a little way to mount this. I don't think that there's a way for me to put it just right here. Maybe, but I don't think so. I'll need to get another little tray. So this, I guess I'll just make that backup storage and install that next. But I do have a little cable for it, so that's good. My motherboard came with one. The real test is the oh, here are my zip ties. The real test is the CPU installed correctly, because that's my main concern right now, to be quite honest. Now you all bore witness to it and didn't protest, so I'm hoping that that's a good sign. But for what it's worth, I will take full responsibility for whatever happens from here on in. I won't blame anybody. So I just appreciate you being on this show. That's good stuff. This is about the networking, I'm assuming. It's good fun, though. And I did just order a second Starlink dish because my residential cable connection has been mediocre lately. Oh, dear. I'm sorry to hear that. Not cool. Now, if I plug this in and my whole system goes down, like if I just disappear from online, that will be the ultimate hilarity. So if I disappear, know that I love you, and I really treasure our time together. I gotta find an HDMI cable. Okay, I got one. Let's get this screen. Now, this screen also has my camera mounted to it, so that might move for a little bit. We are the bumpers to your bowling lane. Oh, I'm glad it's reciprocal. All right, I'm going to plug this into the motherboard to start because that's where we're going to start. Is probably looking at the BIOS. So, also, do I need a wired keyboard for this, or can I use my Logitech ones? That'll be an interesting problem. All right, so hang on one second. Don't worry, just tissues. Okay. Only moved over a shade here. All right, here we go. Moment O truth. Powering on the power supply. And now pressing the power button. Okay, the CPU fans are running and the case fans are running. I see that my card, here, I'll turn this off. See that my card is lit up. That's the only RGB I've got in here right now. And let's see if anything goes up to my monitor. If it's USB, even wireless, it'll be fine. It is USB wireless, so I don't have a signal yet. My monitor just said going into standby mode. So that's not good. Maybe it's because I have a graphics card. So since I have a graphics card installed, scanning for signal. No HDMI signal from your device. So no. Now scanning for HDMI signal. No HDMI signal from your device. Okay, cool. So, excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and power down. We're going to power down. Apparently not. Okay. We have officially powered down. I'm plugged into my GPU now. Power is on. How do I know if the cooler's working? Like, it's crazy quiet. Still nothing from the computer, though, in terms of a sign of life. I can definitely hear something that sounds like running water, like trickling through the loop. No signal from your HDMI device. Alrighty. Well, plug it into the GPU. Never ever plug it into the motherboard. It'll enable the built-in graphics and slow vMix down. Well, I'm in the GPU right now. I don't see anything on the screen. So that's a problem. Let's see if my... Just going to see if my... motherboard is getting anything. There are lights on the motherboard. In fact, pull the GPU, then test the onboard graphics. It's okay until vMix is installed. Let's just see if this board is getting any, if I plug in Ethernet, if it will even respond. Nope, that card does not come on. Well, that's an interesting problem. Everything powers on. The motherboard doesn't get anything. Okay. Have you installed the RAM? Yes, the RAM is installed. Unplug your NIC card. Reseat the GPU. Take all cards out. Is the power switch connected to the correct pins? Yes. I checked that about 4 times. So that should be correct. All right, I'll pull all the cards out. Okay, cards are up. System fans are on. All the cables are tight. I'm going HDMI. All of the fans are working. I can hear the pump working. When I plug in it's almost like I need to do like a reset on the board or something. Like it needs a check this one more time. Yeah, that all seems to be correct. I'm going to switch the pins on the switch. Just flip them around here. Not that should make any difference, to be honest with you. Where's the 8-pin power connector? I would expect it to be at the bottom left of our perspective. Power to the motherboard is here. That's the 16, right? And then so power to motherboard, which is here. And then I've got PCIe, which goes to the graphics card. And that's basically it. Everything else is just fans. There may be a missing connector there. Okay. Let me turn this off. Let me look again. Oh. You may be right. CPU right here. Does it need... Yep. There are 2 of them on this board. Do I need to put both? Like, that would be another 16. All right, hang on. Let me pull up the... Good call, everybody. Good call. Let's go here. Here we go. CPU power 2, CPU power 1. So I've got 2. I've got 2 of the same here. 2 CPUs. Look, 2 CPU cables. The 8-pin is right here by these fans. But CPU has its own power cable. Not enough. We are If there's a spot for power to go, power should absolutely go to it. It may work with one, but if your supply has two, okay, it does have two. Okay, got it. All right, those snapped in nicely. Okay. Yay, more cables. Yeah, right. All right. Looking good. Let's give her another go. Ready? 3. Hopefully she doesn't blow up. 2, 1. Fingers crossed. Oops. Okay. All the fans are back on. Are there any more? No. Hey-oh, network activity. So that was something. Whoa. Oh, yep. Something's going on now. Still nothing on the screen. Plug it back in here, see what we get. HDMI input. Ooh, it's like a DOS prompt. Oh, hey, new CPU installed. Oh, well, you got to leave it up there long enough for me to read it. Scanning for signal. No HDMI signal on your device. So now when you get video from your motherboard, you can turn it back off and put all your cards in. Okay, Ryzen 7 core processor running startup. Whoa, hey yo! All right, we have a BIOS screen. Good news, everybody. Good news. All right, let's switch over my. Well, I guess these are connected via Bluetooth. Where did I put the receivers for this thing? Now they're here somewhere. Okay, so I do have a BIOS, which is good. We are, let's see here. I can't do anything because I don't have an interface for it. It's got there here somewhere. Well, they were here somewhere. All right. It all comes up just fine. Where's the temperature readouts? If that should be on the front page, should it not? Seems to think that it's tomorrow. Friday, September 6th. Okay, that's fine. Hey, success. I'm picking up my GPU this afternoon. I'll install it either on the weekend or I'll install it next week or over the weekend. Right on. All right, well, I'm going to turn this off and put my cards back in. Yay, the power button works. Praise hallelujah. Okay, so I'm going to put the my graphics card in. Click. Okay, so that's in and powered. I will screw that down. Just going to lock this in here. All right, and then my other little network card, put that in here. I just had a phone call from a friend looking for a camera operator last night. I initially said yes, but I had actually already bought tickets for my wife and I to see the show. So I referred a good friend to take the job instead. Well done. Hello, Jenna James over on Twitch. How are you? I'm well, thank you. Hopefully you are also well. All right, these are back in. So I'm going to switch this over now to this GPU. Power that on. Click this button. Fans power on. GPU comes on. Again, I'll show you this. Ooh, little RGB we got going on here. All right, everything's up and running. HDMI input. I am seeing signal now out of my GeForce RTX, which is great. Yeah, it would have been a fun job. Arena tour for a couple of very big name comedians. Very cool. All right, and we're back to the BIOS. That did not take any time at all. So, all right, we are up and running. Good news, everybody. Good news. Okay, so now it'll just be a matter of downloading Windows 11 and installing that, and then finding my, well, first things first, I guess. We got to find my USB connections for my keyboard, and then we will be able to install those things. But this thing is up and running, and it does look like I have 64 megs of RAM. That Ryzen 7 is functional. There's a nice cool breeze pushing on me right now because these fans are moving that air. So that's good. And what does it say about? I guess I need to look at the hard drives and stuff. But and then all the lights go out. Pop goes the breaker. Yes, I'm half expecting that to happen, actually. Huzzah! Yes, huzzah is correct. It is working. So, good news, everybody. We are actually up and running. And after it only took me 3 hours, which is actually what I predicted. I was thinking 3 to 4 hours. So, that's great. Don't tell Jeremy, but this cable management won't get done here for at least another week as I make sure that everything's up and running. And I need to install this other hard drive. So I'm going to leave it open for the time being. But what did you end up choosing for the NIC? Is it 10 gig copper? It is actually 10 gig SFP plus fiber. And based on your recommendations, we went with the DAC units for the connections to my I actually have a 4250 that was sent to me by John Hinkle over at Netgear. And so now we're going to plug in via fiber. I also have another switch, which is an old Netgear, technically fiber. And I may go redundant one to each, but we will see. But anyways, so these are those DAC units that I will plug in this afternoon, get those plugged in and up and running, and we'll see how that goes. It's the only way to go. DAC for the win. That's what I did with my vMix rack. Well done. And then, of course, now that there's been one person that said something on Twitch. Oh! I don't know if it just restarted, but I'm back to the BIOS page. So at least I'm there, and things are up and running. So technically DAC isn't fiber, but is the best. Well, true. It is copper, right? As I recall, it's a copper connection, not actually fiber. But for what I'm doing, for the short runs that I'm doing, no need to do fiber. But I have the option, which is super nice to have that. And that card is all green, so that's nice. I also bought, just for funsies, I bought a different wireless antenna. So we're going to give it a go. Not that I'm going to use wireless that much, but it's just another connection option. So it comes with those little like bunny ear antennas, but these are major bunny ear antennas. And they're only like $10, so it's not if they don't work very well, it's not a huge loss. I will also mention again, I did get the blue faceplate, and so it's so fancy. The blue faceplate for this unit, which is great. Really looking forward to getting this thing installed. I do have 4 OpenUs in my network rack with the other computer still installed, so should be in good shape. Should be in good shape there. All right, I think that's all I'm going to do today, guys. It has been a good long show, and I got the hiccups. I need to get my son some lunch. He is oddly quiet. Hopefully he's not asleep, but I think he's in there watching the show. So keep the antenna on there anyways. You never know when Wi-Fi will come in handy. Yeah, the nice thing with this antenna is it has a long cable on it, so I can mount it away from all the electronics and closer to like the access point. So instead of the bunny ears being behind the chassis of the actual computer, which come out right here on the back, I can run them up on top of the rack or whatever I want to do and hopefully get a little better reception. So there's that option. But this guy is running nice and quiet. I am going to put this guy on here. Can create a wind tunnel. I think I'm going to put this thing on here. Do I have it on crooked? No. What is going on here? It's my first day, okay? My first day. Oh, I see. They got to sit. They got to sit down exactly right. Okay, got it. So, Yeah, great clean look. I really like that. I like the fact that this is super tidy and it's going to be I'm really happy about the way it looks out front. Now that I've got the lid on it here, the air is pushing through. So that's really good. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great addition. I think it's going to, I'm really excited about the AV1 encoding. I think that'll be great. And we're going to give it a go. We're going to see what she can do. So, all right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. For many of you, you stayed for the whole show. So that's super kind of you. You are under no obligation, but for it's free for you. So I'm glad that maybe you've enjoyed yourself while watching me fumble about putting a computer together. This I'm going to try and get it up and running. So next week's show will be on this one, but no promises. I'll leave this other computer obviously connected until I kind of get everything switched over. But now the fun begins, where I get to light up a new computer and install all sorts of stuff and kind of get her going. So wish me luck. We'll see you guys next week. I don't know exactly what the show's going to be on, but it will probably be something related to this new build. So stay tuned it's been grand. Yes, it has. And it's cost a little more than $1,000. So we're all together. We're in good shape. I'm going to start getting this thing installed. I got to get the ears on this guy and get it into the rack so that I can use it. And looking forward to seeing what we can do. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the new computer. Proper frame rates. Can you imagine? Yes, that's also what I'm hopeful for. So baby steps, everybody, baby steps. And hopefully we'll stop dropping frames pretty soon. So, all right, guys, take care of yourselves. Look after each other. And we will see you all in the next one, which will be hopefully next week. So take it easy, and we'll talk to you soon. Later.